headed to the grocery store. I already got my list ready on what we're going to get at the store. So your president, he signed a proclamation on Friday designating the site of 1908,
Right.
The Race Riot that occurred in Springfield, Illinois, as a national monument.
Yeah, we need another one of those.
Exactly. So I want to read a statement he made during the ceremony. It said, and by the way, this race riot occurred in 1908. The same old. Supposedly a black man assaulted a white woman. Okay. And now all of a sudden there's a white mob that comes on the scene, and
Gotcha.
we know the rest.
Yeah, I got you.
So the president said the new national monument preserves part of that history, and this is him, quote, "So our children, our grandchildren, everybody understands what happened and what can still happen," end quote. When he said that what can still happen, the appropriate thing would be to establish something to make people think twice about doing something like this again.
Right.
Signing and designating this site as a national monument, how is that going to protect me? How? A anti-black hate crime bill, that would protect me.
Right.
That would cause a white angry mob to think twice before they try to do something like this again.
Right.
That is something that, if you're really concerned about the well-being and the welfare of black people, then that's what you would do. And I heard that this has been stuck in Congress, I guess possibly since 2014, because that's when I think there were 5 homes that were burned during the riot, that the foundation it was still intact. So that's where this site is, and it's just been stuck in Congress to make it a national monument.
Right.
But
they didn't want to do that.
They didn't want to do that, so Biden used his executive privileges this weekend to push it forward.
Right.
So it shows that he's selective with how he used his executive privileges.
Right, because if I'm wrong, if the executive privilege can basically be used to pass and enact immediate legislation. Is that right?
I believe so.
So, because we did that with healthcare, though, didn't Obama do that with healthcare?
I believe so, and we got that anti-Asian hate crime bill.
Because
we got
of the
that
executive
passed.
order?
I don't know if that. I wouldn't be surprised if the Senate and Congress didn't have a problem passing that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but we know the hatred towards black people in this country.
Right.
So, but still, why can't you use your executive privileges to pass an anti-black hate crime bill?
Right.
That would be a more appropriate response.
Yeah, but it just shows that they don't care about black people, and we have to quote Kanye and said they don't like us.
No.
They hate us. And so, unfortunately, Biden is doing this during the time where black voters are teetering on whether or not to support the Democratic Party. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then also, so the Sonia Massey murder, I didn't realize that was Springfield, Illinois, because they're conflating both of these horrific incidents, and they're conveniently doing it before the Democratic the Democrat convention that starts on Monday, I believe.
Yeah, and it's pretty messed up that they're going to again try to utilize these two tragedies to to get more black votes. It doesn't make sense to me.
And I also felt like when Biden mentioned that this still can happen,
right,
I also felt like he was inferring or just want to get in the black person's psyche. Oh, remember January 6th? Remember that white mob that stormed the Capitol?
Right.
If Trump gets back in office, this white mob can come and storm your neighborhood.
I see. Because
they don't have anything to offer. So since you don't have anything to offer, the only thing you can do is try to, instill fear. You're doing all this fear mongering, and Trump is the boogeyman. And I really wish that they would, if Trump is racist, then Biden is an even bigger racist.
I see.
He's an even bigger racist because he actually established policies and laws that hurt black people.
Yeah.
I don't know of a law that Trump enacted to hurt black people. People may want to talk about, we're during his presidency, they
did the chants,
the decrees. Well, no, when his attorney general, they were throwing out all of those decrees that Obama put in place and all that kind of whatnot. But when you still compare Biden to Trump, I'm sorry. We want to conveniently forget about the 1994 crime bill. We want to conveniently forget about things that Harris did when she was the attorney general in California, and what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
You all are in office right now.
Yeah, I think people forget that they've had 3 or 4 years now to kind of figure out, what they could do to help us, but they haven't.
They have not.
They haven't done anything.
They have not.
And now they're coming back again with their handout and saying, hey, we'll get you next time. Hey, just vote for us this time and I promise we'll do X, Y, Z. But I don't know what they're promising this time. It didn't sound like they have a plan, or they're just, as Coleman says, she ain't doing anything for black folks at this time. So
and then of course our people, well, what is Trump doing for you? He's a racist. This, that, and it's like, tell the truth, tell the whole truth, because Al Sharpton didn't have a problem with Trump before he ran for office. It was like that was his boy. They were buddies. They always want to focus on this article that Trump took out on the Central Park 5. But we don't hear about how I haven't talked to Jennifer Hudson personally, so I don't know this, but I heard that he helped her family when that massacre occurred right in her own family. That he put her family up in Trump Towers for 6 months. Nobody wants to talk about the things that Donald Trump, the good things that he's done. Things that if you were the head of the KKK or whatever, you wouldn't be thinking about Nelson Mandela.
Right.
You'd be like, he needs to stay in prison. You wouldn't send your private jet to go pick Nelson Mandela up when he's released from prison. You wouldn't do a lot of the things, because it's just a racist person. They wouldn't allow themselves to do that. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have a racist bone in his body, but if you want to talk about racism, let's talk about Biden's racism.
They're afraid of what might happen, and they're putting it on us in our community and saying, hey, we don't want this to happen. We don't want this to happen to you. But at the same time, they're not giving us any type of solutions or any type of policy that's going to help us.
Yeah.
And once again, they're as I always say, they use the same playbook, and they think that we're still stuck in 2001 or something. So it's just that does not make sense that they continue. And I know these are the brightest of the brightest people, but for some reason they just don't get it. I think it goes back to our so-called leadership, people that are in entertainment and media, sort of getting the crown to be our spokespeople, and they are really not connected to the grassroots of what's really going on in the real America.
Well, they're self-serving.
Right.
A lot of them are very self-serving.
Yeah.
We have a lot of selfish people in our community.
Sure.
We have a lot of takers in our community.
Yes.
And during this ceremony, when Biden was making this site in Springfield, Illinois, a national monument, designating this a historic site, you have all these educated black people standing around him.
Yeah.
What is all this education doing for our community?
Right.
What is it doing for our community? We're in the same situation we were in 60 years ago.
Yeah. It's feels like a nothing burger to me with the acknowledgement of this location. It's sad that they are kind of using, the late Miss Massey's, tragedy and this tragedy together to bring awareness. So
and that it's such an inappropriate response.
Yeah.
You need to. This would have been the perfect time to have an anti-black hate crime bill.
Yes.
Not, this is in remembrance of the 1908 Race Riot.
Right.
How does that protect us?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't protect us.
It doesn't.
They don't
so
want
no,
it.
thank you.
Yeah,
No, thank you. There are a lot of things you could do to help our community. It's a whole lot of things. Like we pulling up at the grocery store now. I would like to have a $14,000 EBT card.
Heck yeah.
I would like to have that. It's a lot of things you could do. No more symbolism.
Milk costs $6.28 a gallon.
No more symbolism.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.